Welcome everyone to Welcome Time with Kaylee, and I'm sure none of you noticed, but this is posted on Saturday as opposed to Friday, but yeah, I'm sure none of you noticed. That is because yesterday I was on a plane flying home for spring break, and I go to school in California, but I live in Washington, woot woot, PNW, and so the flight, I had to fly home, wasn't going to drive because that wasn't going to happen. And so yesterday I was in the airport, and there was some really interesting things that happened. First of all, got to the airport about 2 hours before my flight, ran into one of my friends there who lives in Washington as well, and we're taking the same flight. We were just talking, whatever, and then there's always that one guy who's by himself. He's always a little older, kind of creepy a little bit, and he just feels the need to get in on your conversation, so he has to talk to you. So we were talking about taking a piano class and whatever, and he's like, couldn't help it over here, but I am a piano teacher. I've been a piano teacher for about 15 years now, and blah 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 blah. And of course then there's like the awkward, like, when does the conversation stop? And he doesn't know, and neither do we. And so I get on the plane, and I realized a few things about airplanes. I like to ponder. I'm a ponderer. Always get a window seat. When I sit in the window, I feel like I have so much power. Whoever's sitting next to you doesn't have the guts to reach over and open that little tiny plastic windshield. And so they're not gonna raise that blind or anything. And so you have the power. If you want it to be dark, you're gonna shut it. If you want it to be light out, you can open it. You can look out, you cannot look out. The aisle seat has probably even more power, because when you sit in that seat, you decide who comes and who goes. Because I realize that if I'm sitting in the window seat, I will not take a bathroom break. You better have gone to the bathroom before you get on that plane if you sit in that window seat. If you're sitting in the aisle seat or the window seat, you have all the power. You're sitting in the middle, sitting duck. You don't have any power. The only thing you control is the air conditioning and the little reading light, which still shines over the whole entire row. So I've always wondered, like, why do they even have middle seats, really, is my question. Nobody wants them. Nobody wants to sit in them. They'd have no function to society. We should just take out the middleman. Another thing that I noticed before I even got on the plane is the lady that's announcing, we are now taking rows 6 and up, rows 6 and up. If you are a frequent flyer with our gold card and you are a millionaire, you may come board early. And I've always always kind of been curious as to why you would want to board early. What's the point? You can either sit here or sit there. Really, you're not going to get to your destination faster by boarding earlier, really. Because if you board earlier, you're just going to sit in a chair that you're already going to be sitting in for 2.5 hours. So really, they tell you it's like a perk, like, oh, if you don't need your bag, you may come in and we will check your bag for you for free, and then you will be able to board early. What's the point of boarding early? It's all the same. And then there's those people that line up early and they're all standing there with their bags waiting to get on the plane. I'm waiting too. I'm just sitting down comfortably on the side with my friend having a conversation. So in my row, there's me, an empty seat, and a male who's about the same age as I am. And we both were, like, in our own worlds. We were like, he's like, I'm putting my headphones in. I was like, I'm gonna watch my own movie. Didn't have any conversation the whole entire flight. It's fine. However, I'm sitting on the plane, and I'm watching one of my favorite movies, Pitch Perfect, because I have it on my laptop. And so I'm sitting there, and you get that sense that someone's watching you? Yeah, that happened. And so I look out of my peripherals, and I look, and I see that the kid that's sitting 2 seats away from me is watching the movie on my laptop. And I have my headphones in, it's an airplane, you can't really hear anything, and he's watching the movie. So I'm like, you know what, I'll do this kid a favor. So I turned on the subtitles. He was watching so intently that when the flight attendant came by to take his drink order, she had to tap him on the shoulder, and I look up and he's looking at the computer and she's trying to get his attention, and I'm like, are you done? Every time our flight touches down and then we start like coasting for a little bit towards the terminal, I always reach for my phone and turn it on so I can tell whoever's picking me up that I've just landed. So I go and pick up my phone, and my phone is on. Now, I have just this little phone thing, and so no big deal. I can't really turn it on airplane mode. I don't really know what that means either. And so I look and my phone is on. And you know, they start off every flight with, please turn off all electronics and stow them away in your baggage. And I always obey that because I'm not one to bend the rules, and so I always turn it off, put it on. But sometime in the middle of the flight, my phone turned on and had received 3 text messages. Our flight still landed, so tune in next week for another video. I have no idea what it's going to be, so it's going to be a surprise for all of us. Thank you and have a wonderful week.